But now let me ask you this: why Venezuela, the country that holds the largest or one of the largest oil reserves in the world, can't feed its own citizens? I mean, what changed? It was a prosperous country before, and look what happened to it now.
Greed changed. That's what happened.
Greed?
Within the leadership, they want to keep
Maduro? By the way, the bus driver, Maduro, and Hugo Chavez, who was there for a number of years before he died. I mean, it was a Bolivarian revolution. It was a socialist Bolivarian revolution. They were buddies with the Cuban dictator. You call it dictatorship? I agree, it is a dictatorship. They were buddies with them. So, I mean, it's as socialist as it gets in Venezuela. Look what happened to the country.
There's a big difference between we still need a free market, okay? Nobody's saying that their capitalists shouldn't exist. The only thing is that it has gotten too much. It has gotten to the point where now people can't afford medication. People can't afford to have, go to the hospital anymore.
But how can it be socialism and communism together? It's either or.
It's not communism, it's capitalism. No,
Socialism, capitalism. I mean, capitalism. How can capitalism and socialism?
That's why I said, you may not like the word that he uses, democratic socialist, but that's what he means by it.
But
the government playing roles in only things that should not be for profit.
So you're against profit in general, or you're for some for profit?
Absolutely. I'm all about free market.
Free market, okay.
I'm all about free market, but I do not believe that we should have prisons. We should be locking up our citizens and making money off of that because that entices them to lock up citizens.
So
if you're making money off of locking people up, are you gonna, give everybody a fair shot, or are you gonna try and lock people up and fill those prisons?
So you don't really believe in our judicial system, in other words?
Our judicial system's a joke.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. We need huge justice reform. You figure you can't pay a fine, you go to jail. You have no money, you go to jail. All they care about is making money. The judges, they're paid off by our corrupt system. I mean, money has been literally taken over our political system.
So you think lawyers are screwing this country?
I think that money being involved in our politics is screwing us because it can't be a free electorate if people that have a whole bunch of money can just pour it into the system.
Then maybe you should vote for Trump. He was self-funding.
No, actually, he loaned the money and then got it paid back by people who donated it to him. I looked into that as well. He only loaned it to himself, and it's already been paid back to himself by the people that have actually donated.
By the people? I mean, by his own company?
No, by actual individual contributions.
But explain Venezuela to me, if you can. Can you explain Venezuela to me? Bernie Sanders, by the way, he traveled to Cuba. I mean, he honeymooned in Cuba, in Moscow, I think,
because
also.
He's trying to normalize.
But he liked the system. I mean, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed being in Cuba and Moscow and Russia, no?
Years ago, though. We're talking about years and years ago, and what he was admiring
But he's consistent. Consistent, right?
Certain aspects of their healthcare system is what he was looking at. And that's
Really?
the only thing that he gave them credit for.
You really think that the healthcare system is good in Cuba? You really believe in that?
I'm not saying that, but he was saying at least that all the citizens had access to coverage, where at least we have people that literally, veterans come back from war, they have no access to. So that was the only, but they twist his words, like all he was saying is that even in Cuba, they give access to all of their citizens, where here we have people that can't even get, and we're the wealthiest nation in the world.
I lived in the USSR. Did I have access to healthcare? You betcha. Was it free? Absolutely. Did I get medical treatment? I had access,
I'm not saying
but that's
that
about it.
everything's perfect, but I'm saying the point was just that even in these countries that we shun and we think are so, the third world country, they even have things that we don't give our own citizens.
What happened to Venezuela? Can you explain Venezuela? If you have time, I mean, if you're not tired talking to me, can you explain Venezuela to me? What happened in Venezuela? What happened?
I haven't done enough studies on it. I'm saying I've heard bits and pieces.
But common sense. We know,
No, actually, I really don't know. And I speak on only what I can tell you for sure. I don't try to make up facts as I go along. I have not read up on it. Okay. I can read up on it, and then I would be happy to discuss it because I love finding out facts.
Okay.
But I have not done research on it, so I don't want to just speculate on what I think happened or what I heard happened. But all I know is that I feel like we have to stop invading countries. I mean, I have done research on other countries that we've invaded, and everything that we do, we wind up making money off of it on both ends, either supplying weapons or supplying money for politics or overthrowing regimes, and yet the people in those countries wind up in a worse place than they were before we got there.
The last time I checked, it's just the other way around. Every place that Russia invaded,
I'm not talking
became
about Russia.
dictatorship.
I'm talking about the U.S. I'm not talking about a
United
dictatorship.
States.
I'm saying that we go in with this that we're helping people,
but
when
we
we're
improve.
really not helping people.
We improved the lots of millions, if not billions, of people. The best example of that would be China. I mean, this is the largest country in the world, population-wise. Look what a dramatic change happened in China. One thing has changed, just one.
You think that was because of us?
Well, because
All China has to do is
because
call in a ticket. I mean, we owe them so many money. They have us by the balls.
but
We don't owe them.
no, but it didn't happen right away. Something had to happen first, and what happened
Look at
first.
what they're doing. China has all our imports. We don't even make anything now. All of our jobs are being shipped overseas. So yeah, they're doing fantastic at the expense of the American people.
Yeah, but it was completely different back then. I mean, one thing changed in China, and one thing that did change in China was the system. They were the communist/socialists with Mao Zedong, and then they became capitalist. What's happening?
But they have a lot of they still have a lot of dictatorship in China too. I mean, there's a lot of people that
They still have.
with the child
That's true. Well, that's true. That's
so.
true. It's not perfect, but by comparison, I traveled to China. Actually, I've been to about 50 countries around the world. I love traveling. I love
There's
seeing.
a lot of limitations that have allowed them to be successful that we refuse to put. I mean, CEOs are not allowed to make, 100 times what their employees are
In
making.
China, absolutely, they're billionaires in China.
I'm not saying there's not billionaires, but I'm saying the CEOs don't make 500 times what their employees make.
Nothing wrong with that. You know why? Because if you remove the
Then
CEO,
you have no reason to invest back in your company. Then you just keep all of the gains for yourself.
well, of course you work for yourself, but the talent is worth a lot of money, like real talent.
A successful economy. The money is invested back into the people, not just hoarded. In this country, all of the wealth is held by 1%. I mean, it's like
You don't believe-
not a successful economy.
Well, look at billionaires. People who are today billionaires. Unlike Russia, for instance, and Russia has a whole bunch of billionaires, most of them just stole government property. I mean, as simple as that. Now, most, if not all, billionaires in this country, unless they inherited, of course,
Which the majority of them have inherited.
well, but they
These are
also
the same families that are passing the wealth on and on and on.
some, yes, they could have squandered. Of course, we know, those stories. But we also know a lot of billionaires who are self-made billionaires. Plenty. I mean, Bezos, the 6th richest man in the world, or Amazon.com.
But our economy got this way under different reigns. I mean, Eisenhower, when the economy done the best in this country, he taxed the top 1% at 90% because it enticed them to reinvest back into their companies.
There's no enticement. When it taxed at 90%, money goes away. I mean,
No,
the
it
rich
doesn't,
people,
because
they're
you know what,
mobile.
rich people don't spend money. They hoard it. People spend money.
Of course they do. Of course rich people spend money. That's why they build, mansions and...
They do not spend money.
Of
That's
course.
why do you think that they have just been getting richer while the rest of the economy, I mean, have you followed what has happened in the economy over the
Well, the
past-
richest men also, they're the ones who are... Do you believe in trickle-down effect?
No,
Absolutely
it's been
not.
proven ineffective. at all.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it has proven just the opposite, right? No trickle-down.
Reaganomics is, you know how many people have disproved that now? He put that into effect to literally make it okay for them to not freaking give anybody else an opportunity.
Okay, look. See, I'm a small businessman.
No, but I mean, that's fine, but
well,
small businesses you can't even run a business now because there's so many monopolies. You can't even open a business at this point.
don't you think that I'm dreaming to become a multi-million billion whatever dollar corporation? If I could, I would. Of course, I'm striving to be as rich as I can, as powerful as I can, to have as many employees as I can.
It's just saying you should have to
But
pay
the
the
point-
same as a person like me,
but
which
the-
they don't.
But the point is, I'm paying my employees well. You know why I'm paying my employees well? Because they like me, they like my company, they like what they do. I want to keep them. I'll do everything
You're the
to keep.
exception.
No,
You're
I'm
the
not.
Exception.
But that's how.
Walmart has replaced actual businesses. People can't get a good job with an enticing pay. I'm in
These-
banking. I'm not coming from. I had a good job. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I've been in banking for 10 years. I was a branch manager. My income, I've seen it decrease 5% over the past 5 years.
Well, 5 years are completely different. We're talking about Obama years. No trickle-down economics. This is Obamanomics.
No, none of those
That's
policies
why.
has changed. What are you talking about? He has been able to change anything. The Senate and the House have been in control.
Well, Recently?
Republicans have been recently for
yeah.
4 years.
Take Obamacare
We were in the
alone.
worst recession ever, and at least he brought us out of that. But what do you expect him to do once he lost the House?
Well,
and the Senate?
he wasted the $800 billion at the outset.
Was it a waste?
What do you
Are you
think?
talking about for
Do you think?
Obamacare?
No, I'm talking about this.
TARP?
Well, it wasn't TARP. The TARP was under Bush. It was. But what did it call? The money that he used to kind of boost the economy.
Oh,
Well, you know what I'm talking about. $800 billion. Is there anything to show for it? I mean, it's your money. It's my money. It's taxpayers' money.
like there was no jobs. I mean, you had people that were looking for work for 2 years.
Well, I mean,
so yes, yeah, it got people back to work, but the jobs that people had to take, they were making far less than what they were making when they left work. And that's my thing, is because of all these trade deals that we have in effect now, all of the good paying jobs are now sent overseas where
Well,
they could
but why
earn
is it happening?
fraction of
Why
the
is it
cost.
happening? Well, why?
Why is it happening? Because
Yes.
the people that are paying for people to get elected now are the rich people that want policies to stay the same, because they still make money whether the company is in India or in Pakistan or in China. They still make their money. They don't care about whether the jobs are here for the American people. And these are the people that are buying our elections, which is why we need to get money out of politics so that legislation can actually be passed to help the people, not the big CEOs and the corporate people that are the only ones benefiting right now.
Don't you think that if businesses were taxed less, and in fact today...
No, because they've already cut
today-
taxes, and guess what? You know what they do? They keep their profits overseas.
No.
They still ship their stuff overseas.
Well, look, if you know that the United States and America...
You know that we have not collected any taxes from about 10 of the biggest corporations in this country.
Of course
They've
we
actually
did. I mean,
received
come on.
no.
Of course we did.
Why don't you look up?
Well, unless-
I mean,
unless-
I've looked this. I'm not
unless-
saying something unless I know for a fact.
Well,
that I've looked
unless
into
you're talking about Emil, who is, of course, the right hand of, GE, the head of GE, who is the right hand of Obama. I mean, there was the rumor that he was not paying taxes. I read his own article. He claimed
it's
that
not
he
just
did.
him. Walmart doesn't pay taxes. All these
Of course they do.
companies-
But look,
No, they don't.
of course they do.
Some places even have negative taxes.
They have
but
negative.
get
They
money
actually
back.
get returns. I'm telling you. Why do you think our economy is so crummy right now?
Okay, look, I'm a small
We
business.
used to make
There's a difference
35%
between a
of
small
our.
business and a large business.
I am affected by the same policies. I am affected. I mean, 60%, or I mean, you know the facts. I think about 60% of our economy is small business economy, right? So I, as a small business, have to
It's a small business and a corporation.
I'm a corporation. I am a corporation. I mean, legally, I'm a corporation. Small business and corporation is one and the same thing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether I employ 5 people or 10 or 100 people. I'm a small business or a corporation.
Fly, though, as far as where you fall in the tax.
Well, the key is that we in the United States pay the highest corporate tax in the whole world. Japan used to be number one. Even Japan, who by the way went through 20 years of stagnation,
But that's
now
only
lower.
on profits that are held here, and all these companies stash their money
I'm
overseas.
trying. The reason they're doing that, and that's what Trump is all about, is there's a way of bringing money back. Yes, there are
They
trillions
never
of the.
bring it back,
Of
though,
course
and
we
then
will.
They do not bring it back.
But
That's
w-
why we have a freaking negative debt. That's why we have
Well,
no
the
money
reason-
coming
the
in,
reason
and they're
businesses-
taxing the middle class
the-
because we don't get money from these corporations.
Well, look, this is.
If they close these loopholes, we wouldn't have this problem. Period.
It's very simple. In fact, you know what's really strange? I couldn't understand how come is that when, let's say Reagan as an example, would lower the taxes, and then the government get the higher revenues in tax collection, and then they dawned on me. Actually, it's very simple. If I have to pay, let's say, out of $1,000 the
Okay.
taxes.
You realize that you're talking to Bernie supporters and bringing up Reagan, who literally was the dawn of the demise of the middle class.
Well,
So-
Reagan is my hero. Thanks to Reagan, I'm here.
You know, when you use this coded language.
Why should you don't have to listen to me? You don't have to believe a single word that I'm saying. Of course
I'm
not.
just
It's a free
saying that
country.
Reagan, the only person
The
Reagan
whole
helped was
argument of
the
fiscal
higher up.
conservatism came from coded language for racism because they didn't want to help black people.
Just finish your thought. Under what premise do you believe that lowering taxes?
Well, honey, I'm going to get back to you.
Sure. Nice talking to you. Okay, see ya.
Corporations raises revenue for the government.
What was that?
Finish your thought. You were saying that.
Well, what I'm
cutting
saying,
taxes
yeah.
on
Well, what the reason.
raises revenue for the government.
Go to your side.
I'm not proselytizing. So I'm not walking around with big. I'm asking questions.
You kind of are, though. You kind of are.
You can stay with Bern. I mean, that's your choice.
So you're like brandishing your viewpoints to other people as if
I'm
it's
asking
going-
questions. No, well, it's a back and forth.
So
Isn't
it's
it
a
how?
critical analysis of trying to figure out what was like
I'm
an
trying-
experiment then? Like,
No, it's a critical analysis as to why, based on latest statistics, some 60% of youngsters 18 to 35, 60% believes that socialism is not such a bad idea.
It's not.
The reason you don't.
I'd like to tell you why.
Okay, tell me.
Can I tell you why?
Sure.
There's one difference between capitalism and socialism.